Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this game we're going to be looking at one of the few team compositions I haven't had a chance to play before in the Set 10 Revival, and that is a country team composition. It's one of the ones that's a lot of fun to play. Country is a 3-cost reroll trait, relatively straightforward. If it's uncontested, it tends to be pretty strong. It can get outscaled by boards that hit like tons of 4 and 5 cost units or boards that hit like a 3-star 4 cost. So it can get outscaled in like a super high loot, super endgame situation. But overall, it tends to be pretty strong. It's definitely playable. Still, it's not something that you typically want to force. You generally don't want to play this unless you're in a good position to play it. And usually that means something along the lines of getting an early Samira or getting an early argh, or just seeing like an early, I don't know, country Tom Kench headliner or something like that. So it's not something you can force in every game, but if you're like in a good position to play it, and particularly if it's uncontested, then it can end up being relatively strong. All right, so in terms of the initial encounter, it looks like we have a Jin here, which means that the final augment is going to be prismatic. If you've watched my videos, you know this is one of my least favorite ones. I really don't like the last one being prismatic because it just like throws the gameplay into a blender. If you get a bad choice on that last augment, it can really screw over your game, unfortunately. But yeah, at this point in time, I was not thinking of playing country at all because I really haven't hit anything that would be indicative of a country game. As I said, there's no early Samira or argh. There's no early Katarina. There's nothing here that suggests this should be a country game based on what I'm seeing thus far. I was actually thinking that I might want to play True Damage here because I already have a 2-star Yasuo. If I could get a Yasuo headliner, then I would already be at 6 Yasuos, and True Damage usually is not particularly contested in these lobbies either. So yeah, I mean, I could play Punk. Obviously, I have kind of a Punk setup here as well, but that was not the route I wanted to go. And then I see this, Bounty Hunters. Country champions have a 20% chance to drop a gold on kill. Your Dreadsteed's chances are doubled. Gain a Samira. So this is like an econ augment that also plays into country trait. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I'm down to play country here. I think that would actually be fun. Now, in part, this was dictated by the fact that I didn't have any country footage that like I could put up on YouTube. So I was kind of influenced by that to some extent, but you know, it does give you the Samira. I also have the items for one of Samira's best. I have the components for one of Samira's best items, Striker's Flail. This is the old guard breaker. Basically what this item does is it gives you a number of different stats. You get a little health, a little attack speed, a little crit chance, and the big thing that it does is it gives damage amp every time that the unit crits. So I believe you get 5% damage amp for like the next 4 seconds every time you crit, and that can stack up to 4 times, so you can get up to 20% damage amp. It's an item that plays really, really well into Samira. You can actually see Samira's glowing right now, which means that she has stacked up the damage amp on the Striker's Flail. So it actually synergizes really well with Executioners, units like Samira and Vex, because they get critical strike chance from their trait. Anyway, by the way, there's even more Yasuos. At this point, I was kind of like, oh man, you know, I kind of wish I just played the Yasuo. I would be on 5 Yasuos here, and then I would just need the headliner to get to 8. And also in this lobby, it ends up being the case that nobody really plays True Damage in this lobby. So a route not taken, that might have been fun, but the items were not quite as good to play Yasuo here. Yasuo doesn't want to, what's this, Striker's Flail? It's not really a Yasuo item, because he kind of needs more defensive itemization. I guess that person's playing True Damage, that person I just checked on. But I looked at all the different players. I didn't really see anyone who looked like they're going to play country. So I was like, all right, it looks like I'm pretty much in the clear here. Nobody has any kind of a country opener. There's no reason to suggest why any of these players would look to play a country opener from this position. So I've got this augment. As I said, the Bounty Hunter's augment is going to give me it's 20% chance anytime a country unit kills an enemy to drop a gold coin. So it is kind of an econ augment in addition to giving you some direction with Samira. Of course, it does not give you any combat power, but it does give you a nice direction, and it will give some additional econ. I think it's dropped 1 gold coin so far. It's also going to scale reasonably well into the late game because all my main damage dealers are going to be country units. So I'm going to have the chance to get more and more gold as the game goes on and as I play deeper into like Samira and such. As far as what else I have on my board, there was a Bruiser Olaf, and I was like, you know, I can play this for the early game. I just need to get to level 7, and then I can look for like a Samira or an argh headliner. So I really just need to get to level 7. And the Olaf headliner will get me there. I also had the good luck to find an early Set, and that's nice because Set is one of the units you play on this board. He pairs with the Tahm Kench. Tahm Kench gives you Bruiser, and then Set also gives you Bruiser, and then Set also provides Mosher trait to synergize with argh, who is country plus Mosher. And in addition to that, by the way, there's a gold coin popping out. Very nice. By the way, I did not think I had any chance of winning against this board because they had multiple 2-stars, but it turns out 4 Bruisers pretty early on is really strong. Anyways, I was saying Set is also a 3-cost unit, and this is a 3-cost reroll build, so he also slots in really nicely and allows you to just grab more 3-cost units. By the way, there's another Samira here with a glove, by the way, and Samira really wants to build an Infinity Edge if at all possible, so I would be quite happy to take that Samira, get me 2 out of the 9 that I'll initially need, but I believe it gets grabbed by somebody here. I was like, okay, all right, I guess they took the Samira, so I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm down to just grab a bow. It's on a 1 gold champ, which I don't love, but I do need some additional attack speed on the Samira eventually. So I'll take the bow. Ideally, this would be like a Last Whisper, because Samira spends a lot of time hitting frontline, and so she really does benefit from armor shred. But we'll have to see. And by the way, there's another Samira here, so I was like, oh, very, very nice. Now I really wish that I'd gotten that Samira off Carousel, because I'd already have Samira 2-star right now. I'm actually going to clear my team planner because I had a Seraphine on there from a previous game. But yeah, I mean, this is a pretty good opener. The only thing that's really missing is I haven't found like a Katarina or an argh yet. So I actually do not have country trait in, but I will be playing in that direction. Samira's items are quite good so far, and the 4 Bruisers is strong for the early game. I'm also in a good econ position as well. Now, I'm only level 4, not level 5, but I'm level 4, 30 gold. So, like, I'm just econing very, very quickly up to 50 gold. I'm trying to get there as quickly as possible. And I don't think that my board quality is terrible. Like, I don't think that I beat all the boards in the lobby, but, like, I'm also not going to lose 30 health here on stage 2. This board is running Pentakill, and they have the Metalheads augment, which is great if you're running a Pentakill board. So I'm definitely not going to beat that. They have an Olaf headliner as well, and they just put their tank items on Olaf. So I'm not beating this board, but, you know, I killed 2 of the 5 units. That's not terrible, considering that they're already level 5 and they had multiple 2-stars, whereas my only 2-star unit is my headliner. That's not too bad. Reasonably good situation to be in there. Again, I would have rather won than lost, but it's not that big of a deal. All right, and there's 2-star Tahm Kench. Okay. Now I'm hoping I can either win this round or alternately get a gold coin to drop from Bounty Hunters so that I can get to the 40 gold income breakpoint here. So overall, a pretty good start. And then I was like, wait, what? Why does this person have a Samira on their board? What? They're playing Punk. They have a Punk Jinx. Why is a Samira on their board? This doesn't make any sense at all. I was like, what are they doing? Why is there a Samira on this person's board? Like, they have a Vi and a... Like, why is Tahm Kench on this board? What is going on? So I have no clue what was going on here. And then I see this person, and this person is the one who took the... this is the person who took the Samira off the carousel. And this person has opted in the country as well. I was like, what are they doing? Apparently they found a Katarina country headliner, and that apparently led them to decide that they were going to go country in this game. I was like, are you serious? Like, are you kidding me? Why are you, like, have you seen my augment setup? I have the Bounty Hunters augment. My position to play country is way better than yours. Oh, by the way, and then I get the early Samira 2-star, which is fantastic. But I was like, what is this person doing? Why are they contesting me here? This person, Aaron W. Key Warrior. Yeah, they got a country Katarina headliner. And apparently they're like, nope, okay, now I'm pivoting. Now I'm going to do full-on country in this game, even though I have the country augment. And I'm clearly going to be playing country. Like, why is this person opting to contest me? I have the augment that's going to give me more econ than they're going to get. So I was just like, oh my god, why is this person doing this? I don't understand. Oh, man. So this is not what I want. So it's going to be a contested country game. I was just so frustrated. I couldn't believe that this person was opting to contest me when I had the augment and already had the Samira. But no, they just randomly had a Katarina headliner in their store. And they're like, nope, now I'm playing this. Like, why wouldn't you at least just play the... like, why not at least just play the Crowd Divers version of Katarina? But nope. Gonna play Katarina headliner, gonna play country. So it's like, all right, I guess we're doing this. All right, in terms of items, I got a rod to drop. And in this team composition, you don't really have a ton of uses for rods. They're not bad on Vex, but Vex is the only one who can really use AP-based items. And yes, this other person still has a 2-star Tahm Kench and a Samira on their board as well, in their punk composition. Yeah, on their punk board. Okay. But anyway, as I was saying, no one else can really use rods that well. So I was like, you know what? I'm down to make the Rage Blade. I wouldn't say it's one of Samira's best items, but it's not bad. She does benefit from more attack speed. I think that Last Whisper, like Last Whisper plus Infinity Edge, is a lot better because she really needs the armor shred from Last Whisper more than she needs the like the stacking attack speed from Rage Blade. But like I had the rod, I had the 2-star Samira. I like, why have the rod just sit on the bench? Let's make a useful item here. All right, now we have a silver augment this time, and I was looking at the options, and I was considering between backup, which gives additional attack speed, or Pandora's items. I really thought about this, but I was like, you know, I just made the Rage Blade, so I don't need attack speed as much. Let's just go ahead and take Pandora's items, and I'm down with that. And then I get a glove from the item, so I'm perfectly fine with that. This will allow me to try to make perfect items on my carries. Samira has the Rage Blade, which I would not have made if I'd known I was going to get Pandora's items. But now I can definitely get a sword for Infinity Edge, and if she has the Striker's Flail plus Infinity Edge plus Rage Blade, that's pretty good. Like, that's a pretty good combo setup right there. And then I can try to build really strong frontline items. Again, Amumu is intended to be the main tank in this team composition, Amumu and Thresh, but we haven't seen Amumu yet. Understandably haven't seen Thresh yet. So we can try to do like the Warmogs plus, I don't know, like Bramble Vest plus Dragon's Cloak or whatever like the best frontline option is. And then we can also look to try to itemize an argh, and if we get enough items of Vex, but we'll have to see how many units we actually end up playing. The good news is the Samira 2-star carries pretty hard at this stage of the game. She does have her Executioner trait in. That gives her extra critical strike chance, and it means that, it means that her abilities can crit even without having an Infinity Edge or a Jeweled Gauntlet, and it also gives her extra critical strike chance and extra critical strike damage. You still do want an Infinity Edge on her anyway, but because it synergizes so well with the rest of her kit, but it does mean that now she can crit even without having Infinity Edge. I'm also now up to level 6. I still haven't seen a Katarina or an argh, so okay, that's a thing. Still haven't seen either of those. The only board I've lost to thus far is this one, Bang Bang, which is playing a Reroll Riven and Yone team composition. They took some champion duplicators, and they've actually already burned those champion duplicators in the lobby. And then the other country player also took duplicators. Yeah, see this person here. I actually checked, so they have gotten 3 duplicators so far, lesser champion duplicators. They've actually used 2 of the 3 already. So they used that to spike their board early. That said, this is not going to scale great into late game. So like this is definitely really strong right now because they have the 2-star Riven because they burn duplicators on the Riven, but like her items are not very good. The Bloodthirster's good. Kraken Slayer is a bad item. Spirit Visage is especially a bad item. We actually do kill the that unit, but I don't have quite enough to finish off the rest of the team. So that board's strong right now, but they've made some choices that are going to cause them not to scale as well. I just kind of wish I had dodged that team a little bit longer, but it is what it is. Here, I'd like to get a sword to make the Infinity Edge, but again, I have Pandora's item, so I can kind of take anything I want. So, assuming the sword is gone, which it already is, I will probably just take the most expensive champion available. Because I know that the items will reroll into something else. Oh, never mind. I took the Samira. Ha! Forgot what I was thinking at the time. Yeah, I just take the Samira because I need to get to 9 Samiras, and this gives me another one. And again, the item will just reroll. I don't actually want a tier here, but again, Pandora's items is nice for this. I've always said I like Pandora's items as a silver augment. I don't really like it as much as a gold or a prismatic, but it's very good as a silver augment. Because, you know, it kind of does the same thing. The prismatic and the gold versions basically do the same thing as the silver version. The only difference is you get like a completed item, and the prismatic one gives you a radiant item. But again, I think it's just best as a silver augment. So my board is falling off a little bit. Now that's in part because I don't have country in. I could easily have like 5 country in by this point, but I don't even have 3 country in because apparently Katarina doesn't exist in this lobby, or argh. So just continuing to keep an eye out for this. That other player that's playing country has already gone to level 7, so okay. And like I said, I have to deal with that. And then this other person who's playing the, what is it? They're playing the, this is the Metalheads player. Yeah, they're still quite strong. For some reason, though, this person is level 7, 0 gold, so I don't know what they're doing with their economy. They're definitely stronger than me right now by, like, a lot. But they also have gone down to 0 gold on level 7. It looks like they're trying to go for a Gnar 3-star, but like, dude, You got 96 HP. You do not need to push tempo that hard. You're not really helping yourself by doing that. Anyway, there the tier rolls into a sword, so great, we'll just make that. And then since I'm on, what is it? I'm so close to hitting level 7, I'll just level to level 7. And we'll sell the Olaf on the minion round, and we'll look for a headliner. Again, my preferred would be a country Samira, but if it's country argh, I could take that. I would probably also take Executioner Samira, and then I'd just play the 4 Executioners version of this build. But typically speaking, you'd prefer to have the country version of the headliner, and the main reason for that is it lets you cut Katarina from the team competition. All right, well, here's the person I'm contesting with. Good news is they've already lost quite a bit of health. They have found a Thresh so far, so and I don't even have Thresh. I don't even like I don't even have the Hecarim in yet. Period. Like I don't even have. They have 5 country in. I don't even have. I don't even have 3 country in yet. But can my Samira? Samira has much better items. Can I win this? Yes. There we go. Well, I mean, the big difference is I had the Infinity Edge. She wins with 13 health left. So let's go. I want to get health out of that player because I don't want to. I don't want them to continue contesting me, but like, look at my ridiculous board. I have 2 Samiras on the board. I have 2 Vexes on the board. There's an argh. We can finally get the Hecarim in play. I was going to say I have 2 sets on the board, 2 Vexes on the board, 2 Samiras on the board. And, all right, I don't find anything else here. I will hold on to the belt, though, because the belt makes a lot of good frontline items. As I said, I would not mind making a Warmogs plus like a Gargoyle Stoneplate or something like that. Or a Sunfire Cape. I don't have a Heal Cut on my board right now either. Alright, these items are not what I want, so I'm glad they're going to reroll. Alright, well, I got an argh to drop from the minion round, and then another one dropped, so that's nice. So anyway, we're just going to keep rolling here, and oh, we hit the 2-star set. I almost missed this, by the way, as I make a Bloodthirster. There's a country Samira in the store, and I almost missed this, but then I was like, oh, okay, woo! Just barely remembered to grab the Samira, okay. So we'll put Samira's items back on. Just like that, I go to 6 Samiras. This is great. Actually, 7 Samiras. Now, can I find the rest of my team here? I still need to find Katarina. I still can't play 5 country because I still haven't seen Katarina show up in the shop yet. But we're starting to put the pieces together. I have this random Akali on the board who I don't really want. I have double Samiras on here. I'm trying to figure out if I want to make another sword item. I was thinking if I wanted to do a sword item for argh, because I have 2-starred the argh. I haven't 2-starred the Vex yet. Vex does want like a Shojin, but I'm trying to play through my country units because they drop gold coins if they get kills. If Vex kills something, we do not have a chance to drop gold coins. So I am trying to play through the country units, and I was like, all right, I guess there's not really another sword item I really want that badly on argh. Maybe Edge of Night, but it's not that great of an item on him. Now, we knew the last augment was going to be Prismatic. The max cap is actually decent on a country board, but I'm looking at the options here. I was like, I'm going to take the Belt Overflow, and the reason for this is I have Pandora's items. These are gonna re-roll into other items. Yeah, so I get 5 belts and I'll make the Warmogs Sunfire combo, but like they're gonna turn into other items. So this is actually much better than it normally is because I didn't get and I ultimately do put 1 sword there on the Vex. As they go up to 8 Samiras, I'm actually gonna roll down because I'm looking for that last Samira. Okay, finally a Mumu shows up. So let's get a Mumu on the board. And can I finally find the Katarina? I still haven't seen this. I'm looking. There's another set. I'll grab that. All right, there we go. That's the other big hit. We hit that, and so now I need to stuff another unit on the board. There's Vex 2-star, so I'm definitely getting stronger. We'll stuff Lulu on here for right now. But I definitely spiked pretty hard there. I managed to hit the 2-star Vex, the 3-star Samira, and I think I 2-starred Set as well. So looking pretty good here. Yeah, Samira 3-star this early is going to do an awful lot of damage. And then we get the chance to drop gold coins too. So rolling down did not really cost me that much. It cost me some econ. But I will get some of that back in kills. If my board's strong, I will get some of that back in kills. So yeah, I did manage to hit the Samira 3. And there is another tier. So we'll go ahead and make the Shojin. I'm getting a lot of swords here. I wish I didn't have Samira already fully itemized. I actually need tank items and stuff for argh right now. So again, I'm like, where is the freaking Katarina? Why can't I find, like, it's insane that I can't find this unit. I was trying to think about if I wanted to hold these swords or if I wanted to go for something else. And again, I'm still rolling here. All right, we actually have another Lulu, but I don't want Lulu. And then, there's Katarina. I just spot at the last second and couldn't get the Katarina on the board. That's okay. Lulu will come out next round. I don't actually want to play Lulu on this board, but like if you're just gonna stuff a random unit on the board, Lulu's a good one because she prints mana for the nearby units. All right, but meanwhile, we really just want Samira killing things. Like with the item she has and her being a 3-star, she's actually printing me quite a bit of money too, which is nice. What do we get? 3 coins there. Not too shabby. So my board is definitely stabilized for now. But I do need to build out the rest of the comp around this Samira. It's not enough just to have Samira. You need other damage dealers. And I think my front line can get stronger as well here. So that's the hope. The person who's contesting me is down on 40 HP. So they're also going to be an issue as well. But first, we really need to get back up to the 50 gold threshold so that we're not eating into our income. I do think it was worthwhile to roll down below 50 because I was on 8 Samiras and it was such a huge spike to get 3-star Samira, but now we do need to build our econ back up again. I've won enough rounds and now I'm last pick. The frying pan would have been great because I actually could make a country emblem. It actually would be very easy to make a country emblem and play 7 country there. All I would have to do is wait 1 round, the frying pan would re-roll into a spatula, and then I would just need spatula plus cloak, which is the country recipe. Now here I grabbed a cloak because it was on the most expensive unit, and I was trying to think, what is the last item I want to put on my main tank? And I was actually thinking Dragon's Cloak at the time, part of the reason why I took this, but like then I stopped and I looked around the rest of the lobby and I was like, wait a minute, I think every team composition in the lobby is a physical damage team composition. So I was looking around there and I think it was right around here where I checked it out. I was like, every single team is playing AD. No one is playing magic damage in this lobby. So that was the realization when I was like, you know, I actually should look to try and get vests and make a bramble vest because like look at this team, it's all physical damage. What's that Yone Riven reroll team doing? All physical damage. What is the other country player doing? All physical damage. Like every single board was a physical damage board. So I was like, yeah, I think I need to make a bramble vest for that last item, and I can fortunately do that because I have the Pandora's items. This person took an interesting prismatic augment. They took Greater Moonlight, which turns a 1-star unit on your board into a 4-star unit. I think it upgrades them. So if they're a 3-star, it upgrades them to a 4-star. And it upgraded the Olaf into a 4-star unit. So, like, again, that's strong, but again, does that scale really well into the late game? And the answer, again, is no, it really doesn't. Even a 4-star Olaf is not going to be that great in the late game. I also have the question of, do I want to go to level 8 or do I stay here on level 7 and reroll? And like I've already been on level 7 for a while, but I think it's the correct decision to still stay here on level 7 because all of the units I want to play are 3-cost units. Everything except Thresh. If I can find Thresh, I will take out the... if I can find Thresh, I take out the Katarina and play Thresh because that'll then give me Guardian trait and maintain 5 country. But like all the units I want to play are 3-cost units, and I have the best odds to hit them here on level 7. I have 40% odds. By the way, here is a rapid fire team. Once again, all physical damage. Every team is physical damage. I mean, I guess the Senna deals magic damage, but whatever. So I have the best odds to hit those units. So we're on 6 Urgots. We should stay here and try to hit the remaining 3 Urgots to get Urgot 3-star. I think I have like 4 or 5 sets. And by the way, here's the other player playing country. The good news is they're losing this round. So they're going to drop down to 28 HP. Again, I want this person out of the lobby because they're just contesting all of the same units with me. But yeah, I mean, I think it just makes sense to stay here. Like, what do I get from going to level 8? I can play another unit. Well, what other unit would I play on this board? Like, I'd have to really... Honestly, I'd have to get to level 9 to do anything. And then I could either play 2 more Guardians to get to 4 Guardian, or I could potentially play 2 more Executioners. Like, I could add Akali and Karthus to get to 4 Executioners. But, like, I wouldn't really see any benefit until I got to level 9. Going to level 8 doesn't do anything. And, like, it just doesn't make sense to try to go to level 9 and do that when I'm on 7 Urgots, and I could just go for more Urgots here. I'm trying to pull another... I'm trying to pull a bow for Nashor's Tooth, and here I get a vest, so I'm going to hold on to that. We finally get the Amumu 2-star, so that's nice. And let's go ahead and put this on set. Again, I'm trying to make a Bramble vest, as I said before. All right, I don't have that option here, but I'll pull the vest. There we go. There's our Bramble vest, which is going to be good against like all of these teams. There's another Amumu. Okay, the Amumus took a long time, but now they're finally starting to show up here. And okay, I guess I'll stop there for the moment. And then I also have this leftover belt and tier. Again, I'm trying to get a bow to make Nashor's Tooth on the Vex back there. And then I'll put the belt on argh because I'd like to make a Sterix. I think that would be pretty good there. Of course, you can see the problem here is I only have one more component re-rolling, so I can only make one of those 2 items. And I was like, oh yeah, I can only make one of those 2. I think the more important one is actually the Nashers on Vex, because argh tends to die a lot earlier in these fights than Vex. All right, this person's wearing a punk board, and this one's pretty close, but it looks like their board is a little bit stronger here. Yeah, the Samira does 13,000 damage, but I need another carry. It's not enough just to have Samira. As I said, I need another carry. She can't solo all of these boards by herself. I am in a bit of, and there we go, there's another set, and there's finally 2-star Katarina, but I am in a little bit of a power trough here. Yeah, I go ahead and make the Sterix on argh. I guess I changed my mind, and I made the Sterix there, so I'll have to get one more item for the Vex. Oh, you know what it was? It's because I was closer to 3-starring the argh. I'm on 7 arghs, but I'm only on 4 Vexes, and that's why I looked at that. All right, I'm also on 8 sets, so here I decided I would roll down because I'm on 7 arghs, 8 sets, and it's a big spike if I can hit one of these units. So I decided I would roll below 50 gold because I was so close to hitting these, and set 3-star would be a big win for me right now. My board will get a lot stronger if I can 2-star him, or excuse me, 3-star him. He's already 2-starred. The Amumu's are not showing up, but the set can, you know, tank if Amumu's not there. By the way, we did a lot of damage. Can we actually beat this board? It's pretty close. They've actually stuffed a Jin on there. They have 3-star Corky. They actually have a 3-star Corky headliner. So Samira goes down. Can Vex clutch this out? No, not quite. But look how close that was. And again, I mean, I'm on. If I had a 3-star set, I would have 100% won that. So it is time to roll down. My health is starting to drop. Let's try and hit some of these units. Come on, can you hit me one more set? I need to clear out bench space. There's an Amumu, but I was like, I don't have bench space for this. Rolling down, come on. Oh, then there's 2 Amumus. I was like, all right, I'll drop the Tahm Kench. I'm not going to hit that at this point. So again, we're rolling down pretty low, but we are finding some units. Can I find the set? It's a unit I really need to hit. All right, there we go. Okay, big spike there. Okay, set is my main tank. So again, I burned through a lot of my econ to do that, but I do think it was the right call because you can see I was starting to lose some of these rounds and I needed my board to get stronger. And fortunately, this is going to do that. Now, here's the board that has the Greater Moonlight and we had the 4-star Olaf last round, but here's the problem with his board. Greater Moonlight picks a random 1-cost unit to scale up into a 4-star. And this round it actually hit the Tahm Kench. Yeah, it actually picked Tahm Kench and not argh. And as soon as that happens, the board just has nothing. So we just shred right through that board. We actually even get back to 20 gold, which is nice. So yeah, that's not what they wanted, and that's kind of a flaw in their board. It is pretty annoying that throughout this game, I was in a position where there were so many Tahm Kenches out of the pool too, because this random person has a 3-star Tahm Kench on their pentakill board for some unknown reason. Here I was trying to get another item for argh, and I was trying to decide what last item I wanted. I ended up taking the Hand of Justice, and that's a mistake. Hand of Justice is an okay item on argh, but it's not great. It turns out the Deathblade is actually a lot better. Argh has kind of area of effect damage built into his kit. He kind of hits in like an arc when he gets his attack off. The Deathblade actually would have been a lot better. And then I hit the 8 argh, so I was like, all right, do I roll for this argh? I probably should. I think I roll for it because, again, I'm so close, and now I'm not going to hit Tom 3. All right, I was like, come on. Can I just hit one more? One more? But no. Excuse me. I do hit the Vex, but I unfortunately get stuck on the 8 arghs. So, yeah, that other player has this other player that's contesting me has managed to hit the 3-star argh and 3-star Samira, and they have a 3-star set as well. But I am hopeful I'll still be able to hit this argh. And now I have a ghost round here against the, this is, what is it, another pentakill edgelord player over here. Hopefully Set can just tank this damage. But again, like, this whole team is physical damage again. I guess except the Kale and the Cane that they've randomly found. Doesn't look like this board is quite as strong as what I have. It's actually really good news for me that this is the Set Revival, where in the Set Revival there's 30 copies of the 3-cost units. In normal TFT there's only 18 copies of the 3-cost units, and the two of us just would have completely griefed each other by both playing country boards. Like, we would just both be completely screwed because there would not be enough units for both of us to hit, and we probably both would have gone out in like 6th or 7th place. Since it's the Set Revival, though, there are more copies of these units. By the way, that person also took Belt Overflow for their prismatic augment. So we took the same thing, but they do not have Pandora's items, so they didn't really have a choice. They just have like a double Warmogs on Set, which I don't think is particularly good itemization. I think it's actually better to, if you have double Warmogs, I think it's better to put them on 2 units. So yeah, they really should have one Warmogs on Set and one of them on Thresh. I think that would be a lot more effective, but That set does have a lot of health. The good news is just having a lot of health doesn't mean that much if you don't have much magic resistance and armor, and this person really doesn't have much of anything in the way of armor. So note that my set tanked for a lot longer than their set, even though their board has more 3-stars on it. The sad thing is, though, they do have 3-star argh, and that probably makes the difference in this fight. It's close, but yeah, it's really close. But they win by 1 unit. And I was like, man, if I could have won that round, I probably don't knock them out, but I get them down to 1 life. And then I hit the argh 3 immediately thereafter. I was like, are you kidding me? If that argh shows up 1 round sooner, I definitely win that fight if I had 3-star argh. I 100% would have won that fight. I do think that I've built my board a bit better than this other country player. It's just that they burned the duplicators to hit some 3-stars. I also don't understand why they went to level 8. They went to level 8 to play the Katarina, I guess, for some reason. I don't really understand that. But yeah, they still they went to level 8, and it's just like, I'm not sure that going to level 8 does a whole lot for this board. It just makes more sense to hit your 3-star 3 costs and go from there. By the way, we get another set, but I already have set 3 stars, so yeah, I don't need more sets here. All right, so we're going to be able to pull another item from the item anvil, so that's going to be nice. And then I get another Amumu and Vex, and I was like, I was thinking of maybe going to level 8 and like trying to play something else, but like now I'm on 8 Amumus and 7 Vexes. I was also finally able to get that Gnasher's Tooth for the Vex, so I'm quite happy with Vex's items. The Gunblade is maybe a little questionable, but the others are great. Now I'm on 8 of each. All right, so there's the Amumu. Can we hit the Vex as well? Come on, where are you, Vex? All right, there we go. Okay, now we have spiked tremendously, because since the last time I fought around, I hit 3-star argh, 3-star Vex, and 3-star Amumu. Now I just need to get some items on Amumu. I would love to get like a Thief's Glove or something, just so I could itemize that unit too. But, I mean, I just got way stronger. Here's the 4-star Olaf board again, but like, notice how even though Olaf gets the Greater Moonlight benefit, this round's not really that close. Olaf is just spending the entire round hitting the set who has the Bramble Vest. And it's like, yeah, that set is like 300 armor. Like, you're not gonna do anything against him. This is one of the best possible item combinations for just stacking armor. Warmogs for health, plus Bruiser trait for more health. And then also the Sunfire and the Bramble Vest. Like, he has just a ton of armor and a ton of health. There's really a brick wall unit that you're trying to get through there. I guess I could switch the items over to the... Maybe I should have just switched the items over to the Amumu, because I think Amumu is a better tank than Set. But I guess I'd had them on Set for so long, I just was kind of stuck in this mindset of keeping Set with the items. Yeah, Amumu probably would have been even better to have these items on. But anyway, I was in the mindset of trying to get items for the Amumu. But as I said, these is a really good item combo. I mean, I guess the only thing that would be... Oh, by the way, and then I hit this board again. That's 2 rounds in a row I hit this board. So, yeah, the weirdness of matchmaking when there's hardly anyone in the lobby. This time it's the Tom Kench who gets the Greater Moonlights. This board is just absolutely screwed when that happens. There's just, like, nothing on this board that can do anything. Because, again, the carry is intended to be the Olaf. And, like, when he doesn't turn into a 4-star unit, yeah, it's pretty ugly. I did pick up the Katarina on the last round, and that's because I'm about to go level 8 and play something, and like I have to play something. I can put in Katarina, she does make the Hecarim a little bit stronger, but then I see this in Alawi, I was like, alright, cool. We'll just play the Alawi, why not? That sounds good. And I'm going to have to be up against this other Pentakill board. Pentakill is pretty popular in this lobby, so what do I need to do against this board? Kind of 2 things I need to worry about. The main units on that board are a Viego, and then also a Karthus. Those are the 2 big carries on this board. So I'm going to stuff the set in the Amumu over here by the Viego, and I'm going to stick the Alawi Tentacles in the back. There's actually a deliberate reason for that. I want Karthus to ult the Alawi Tentacles. I want Karthus to waste that first ult killing the Alawi Tentacles. If I put the Alawi Tentacles on the front line, they're probably going to die early in the fight, and then Karthus is ulting units I actually care about. So basically Karthus just wastes his first ult. And then as soon as he does that, like, Viego didn't end up doing anything. I have Samira as far away from Viego as possible. And now it is down to just me and that player I hit. So I actually never saw the... I never ended up seeing the country player again. I'm very confident I would have beaten them, but I never saw them again. They just got knocked out of the lobby. So I did outlast them. I was also going to take that Spirit Visage for Amumu, but it gets taken. So I was like, okay, let's just take a Cloak. We don't have time for this. We don't have time to play item roulette, because like there's actually was a spatula there, but I don't have time to play spatula roulette. Like in theory, I could have taken the spatula and then tried to play country 7, but like there's just not enough time for that. I would need to have my component on the bench reroll into a cloak, and just not enough time for that. All right, so I won the fight with this positioning last time. It was a ghost round, but I'm going to keep the same positioning because I think it worked pretty well. The one mistake I make here is I should shift a Mumu over to the right because I made an Evan Shroud on a Mumu after I got the cloak and then had the item on my bench reforge into a belt. Mumu should be over by Samira just so he'll armor shred the targets that Samira is shooting. I don't actually have an armor shred on my board, and that's a little bit of an oversight in my team composition. But once again, Karthus wastes his first ult on the tentacles, and Samira is still alive, Vex is still alive. For some reason, there's a Kale with double Kraken Slayer. I don't know what the purpose of that is, but it looks like even though this was a ghost round, it looks like we still have enough to power through, and there we go. I actually do think I lose this round if Karthus doesn't ult the Alawi tentacle, so I'm really glad I found that Alawi at 3% odds at the end of the game. But there you go, it's a first place finish, and I'm really happy with that, especially because I had to play a contested country setup. Again, country is so much stronger when it's not contested, but when someone else is taking those units out of the pool, it's definitely harder to hit. Still, I was able to put it to board together. I had that really nice Bounty Hunter augment to feed me the extra income, and I do think that was the difference, along with getting some really good items from Pandora's items. So, looks like this country wasn't big enough for the two of us, but I had the better country board, so yay. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, hope everybody's having a great week. Take care, folks, and I will see you again soon.